All right, we back on sports. I want to say this right now. Today, no fucks are given. None. Today, shit's gotta be said due to the fact that some of these people don't know when to shut the fuck up. Some of these people, they've acted like little kids as far as I'm concerned when it comes to the NBA Finals. We are going to get on. I'm going to talk about it. I will. Just not yet, because I got other things I need to talk about. I'm letting you know right now. Golden State fans, Cavs fans, y'all going to be mad at me today. I'm just letting you know that right now. But before I get started on NBA basketball, it's fucking embarrassing. It is. All right? I want to talk to Eagles fans real quick. I'm not really that upset with Eagles fans, but what the fuck is wrong with y'all? Seriously. Look, let's get it out in the open, okay? For those who don't know, Evan Mathis was released by the Philadelphia Eagles, all right? Now, I want to say this. A lot of people were upset with this. They started freaking out. What the hell's going on? All you had to do was look at the Eagles' Twitter and look at their mentions. And look at these fans. And they're freaking the fuck out and saying they're the most diehard fan. I say this due to the fact that we saw this coming. Did we not? Don't tell me you didn't see it coming. Because it's been reported since fucking April that Evan Mathis was having problems with the Eagles front office. Matter of fact, it's been reported since April that he was already planning not to show up for voluntary practice. So you knew there was going to be fucking problems. We've known this. You had time to brace yourself for this. And then when it happens, you people get all freaking out. And the thing is, when you guys were contacting me on Twitter, what did I say? Nothing. I said nothing. Because the only thing I said was, it was expected. You should have saw it coming. I understand that it's not. I'm not saying that it's right. I'm not saying you don't have the right to be angry. I'm saying you should have prepared yourself more for this. You knew this. So for all these people who are all of a sudden freaking out over it, I'm just like, get the fuck out of here. Get the fuck out of here with this whole bullshit. Seriously. Like, it's one thing with the other trades and releases that we've seen because they blindside the fan base. I understand. Like I've always said, when something like that happens, you can go back to those videos. You have every right to be upset. You have every right to freak out. I've said that from a fan standpoint, okay? But in this case, when you have it, it's right in front of you, and it's been talked about for months, and you see it, and then it happens, don't act like you're fucking surprised. Don't act like That's what bothers me, okay? So yeah, as far as I'm concerned, still, I don't trust Chip Kelly. Do I think it's a good move? I don't think it is. There are a number of teams already lined up. Even Giants fans were talking to each other. We should get Evan Mathis. It goes to show you that people will pick up Evan Mathis. They will. It is a loss for the Eagles. It is. Okay? No one's going to doubt that. And I'm sure that all fans we can agree with that. There's some fans that are saying, well, if you look at the age difference between the two, it was a no-brainer, blah, blah. I'm not trying to hear that. Also, I want to make this very clear. This is the very same Evan Mathis that people are upset over, that were mad at Evan Mathis just a couple seasons ago when he threatened to punch fans because we wanted Andy Reid going. Remember that with him and Kelsey when they were trying to, they were getting ready to beat up that father and son for holding up that banner? Remember when I showed you the video where Evan Mathis said on CSN, I'm only here because of Andy Reid. My loyalty is here for Andy Reid, and that's it. Are we supposed to forget that? Are we supposed to? So as far as I'm concerned, Evan Mathis, is he a good player? Yes, he's a good player. Do I feel bad that he's going? Hell no. So as far as I'm concerned, that's where I lie with it. But I'm more disappointed in the fan base for what's happened, okay? Also, on more Philadelphia news, I want to talk about the Sixers real quick, okay? Joel Embiid, let's talk about Embiid real quick. All right, for those who don't know, the Sixers have had their little, observation on his foot, and they realized that the foot is not healing as well as they thought it would, and there's no timetable for his return next season. That's right, next season. So now we are 2 seasons in with this guy, getting ready to be 2 seasons in, and he will not be playing. So Sixers fans, once again, you have to look at the management, you have to look at the front office, you got to look at Sam Hinkie and say, what the hell are you doing, man? So now we have to wait even longer and longer before this team becomes a contender. That's what it is. We shall see what happens in the draft, all right? Now I want to talk about the fucking NBA. NBA Finals, the worst fucking finals I've ever seen. I've said this last week, and you know what? We are now 5 games in, and it hasn't gotten any better. It hasn't. You cannot sit here and tell me it has. It isn't. I told you before, when I was on Twitter, every time we start this, what do I say? Get ready for laughs. Now listen, you guys have been messaging me, are you ready for the jokes? Yes, because this is ass. It's absolutely atrocious on what we're watching. However, you make the best of it. So you laugh about it, you watch the teams, teams, fan bases argue with each other. I mean, but the things that I've seen, especially last night, were so embarrassing, were so disappointing, it's got to be called on. It has to, as far as I'm concerned. It's a fucking joke. So let's start with the Cleveland Cavaliers and their fucking fan base, all right? Let's get something straight, all right? Number one, you are not the underdog, all right? Let's start with that. Because everyone is such against us. They're so against us. It's Cleveland or bust. I want you to remember that, okay? Because number one, I don't know if you recall watching at least the first 3 games where, Golden State had to come back from very large deficits in order to win these games. Have you not remembered that? But you're the underdog, But what if Kyrie Irving and Kevin Love and Verjao wasn't hurt? What the fuck if? What if? What if the NBA was sunshines and rainbows? This is fucking reality. We have seen throughout the entire playoffs, players get injured. Have we not? Stop making excuses. This is why you have depth on your bench. And you don't use it because your coach don't know what the fuck he's doing. That's what it comes down to. Like I said, people can get mad at me all they want because I feel like this Cavs fans, from the beginning of this season, I've been very sympathetic towards you. Have I not? When I talked to you on Twitter, what did you ask me before the fucking playoffs? All right? Who do you think is going to go to the finals? What did I say? The Cavs and Golden State. And you guys are like, Golden State, you think they'll get past San Antonio? And as we can see, San Antonio didn't do really much this year. And Golden State's in the finals and the Cavs are in the finals. I've been calling this from the beginning. So don't give me this shit, okay? Now, throughout these games, I have told you Cavs fans, actually NBA fans in general, on Twitter, how this is going to go. I told you, did I not? I told you exactly, especially with game 4, okay? Exactly how this was going to go when it came to refereeing, when they would start making those ticky-tack calls. Did I not? What did I say? I said late in the 3rd, early 4th, it would start so they can ramp up the dramatics. Did they not? And then all of a sudden, yo, man, what the hell's going on with all these ref calls? Exactly. This is nothing new. If you've been watching the NBA Finals for years, you have to see the formula now. There's no way you can be surprised by any of this. But yet, you would rather be a prisoner of the fucking moment, and you want to sit here and listen to commentators. Why the fuck would you listen to commentators? You should know they don't know what the fuck they're talking about. For example, last night, J.R. Smith in the first quarter catches fire. Does he not? And when he's playing, the commentator's saying, oh, he's back. He is back to being the J.R. Smith that we all know and love, and he's going to be a threat for the rest of this game. What did I say? I said, that is wrong of the commentators to say in the first quarter because you don't know how he's going to progress on his own up to the 4th. And when the 4th came around, where was he? Nowhere. Matter of fact, at the end of the game, he was trying to shoot the ball. He was shooting air balls, wasn't he? And yet the commentators, exactly. You cannot sit there and do that. That's the commentator's fault. But it's also the fans' fault for being a prisoner in the moment. Every time I turn around, y'all got a fucking excuse, Cavaliers fans. So let's get something. I'm going to knock all these out the box right now, all right? We talked about it last week. I want to start with that this week, all right? LeBron doesn't have any help. He don't have any help. I thought that LeBron made everyone better on his team because he facilitates the ball. Isn't that what we've been saying? Isn't that what the media has been saying throughout this entire time? We told you, Knicks fans told you, you cannot rely on Shump and JR. In crunch time situations. We talked about this last week, did we not? And yet, every time they score, here come Cavs fans. Thanks, Knicks, for the pickup. Now you ain't saying anything, are you? Shump is shooting, 25% of the from the field in the series? Something like that? He should be benched. He should be, because you have better players on your team. You got James Jones, all right, who's a three-point champion. You got Mike Miller, who can hit the 3, okay? J.R. Smith is an X6 man. We know that. So you're going to keep him out there, but you have him on the bench instead of starting. I would rather start him over Shump, to be quite honest. I understand people going to say Shump has better defense, but you've got to be kidding me. That this is, if you expect to win, you got to make sure that these guys, you put them in the right positions. And your coach isn't doing that. Because you should know by now that Golden State cannot rebound with the Cavs. They are too big. And yet, you don't feed your big men the ball like that. I don't understand this. They can't rebound with them. Like I said, unless they start boxing out, magically start boxing out, which they actually started doing in the 4th quarter because they finally caught on. That's right. It took Steve Kerr 4 quarters to catch on to getting people to box out. I'm just saying. But The Cavs didn't take advantage of it. Not once. And then you have Cavs fans saying, well, the referees, they're against us. LeBron can't get any calls and they're against us. You do realize last night's game, the Warriors were in foul trouble. So don't give me this shit where all of a sudden, the refs are against us. Well, LeBron's not getting any calls. You understand when LeBron James is coming down the lane, when it's open, and he throws down his shoulder, if anything is going to be fucking called, it's going to be an offensive foul. Because he's forcing himself. You notice, he puts down his shoulder and he extends his arm, which you can't do. But they never call it. All the traveling going on in the game last night, didn't call it. The refs have done a horrible job. You know what? Let's start now with blame that ref. Because I want to show you exactly what I mean. Exactly. In this game last night, I want you to see this. Where they gave the Cavs the ball when clearly they didn't deserve the ball. Because clearly it was off of the Cavaliers. But the referee is right in front of them and misses the call.
Thompson is guarding Dellavedova. Don't know if it was just on a switch or that's the way they're starting it here. James falling away. Can't get it to fall. Green had it. Knocked off J.R. Smith. No! Trigger to say it's Cleveland ball. It appeared it was deflected off J.R. Smith. They missed that call.
But to show you just how inept these refs are, the same situation comes up, but this time they did it to the Cavs as well.
Kicks it out, Barnes. Barnes fakes. Thompson falls down. Barnes with a left hand. Can't finish. Kept alive. Ball still loose. Golden State possession.
So don't give me this old bullshit all of a sudden that the refs are against the Cavs. You guys have so many fucking excuses on why you lose. And it's only when you lose. When you win, everything's cool, isn't it? Yeah. But yet when you lose, you want to blame everyone and their fucking mom, which is ridiculous. And I'll put it like this, that is not all. Because LeBron James last night comes out and says he has the confidence that they're going to win next game because he's the best player in the world. I told you before, it doesn't matter if LeBron James says it, it doesn't matter who says it, alright? When you have to flop to win, you are not the best player in the world. I don't give a shit what anyone thinks when it comes to that. And for those who don't know what I'm talking about, Griffin Force flopping a fucking week goes to LeBron James, where actually he could have fell. I want you to look at this really closely, all right? When he comes down off the rebound, he could have fell forward, could have fell to the side. Instead, he decides to embellish and trying to say he lost his footing and runs into the camera and gets himself fucking injured.
Bogut, good hard foul. And James just lost his balance. And just goes crashing in and hit his head right on the camera by the lens.
I don't care if you got to slow that down to look at it even closer. You have to understand, all right, that you don't throw yourself. You say you can fall. As soon as you catch that 1 foot comes down, you can just go to the ground. You can, they say, throw yourself aside. No. He decided to take those extra steps and do Tony Parker style and throw himself into the fucking crowd and didn't realize he was going to hit a cameraman. All right? And then we saw the reports where people were yelling at the cameraman. A Nike executive yelled at the cameraman and said it was his fault that LeBron James got hurt. Yeah. And then we had to hear afterwards that a number of people were saying they need to push the cameraman back now because LeBron James got hurt. So let me get this straight. LeBron James gets hurt running into a cameraman, but for all these years we've seen players run the cameraman. Hell, we saw Dennis Rodman run to a cameraman and kick him in the damn balls. And yet, cameramen weren't pushed back then, were they? Don't give me this bullshit that all of a sudden that we need to push these guys back because LeBron James decided to throw himself into one. That's bullshit. Okay? Bullshit. Don't give me this, man. But that's not all. Then we saw Cavs fans last night. Cavs fans, when they're losing, because they're making every excuse in the book, because, you know, LeBron James, he can't do it all by himself. It's like Iverson all over again. No, the fuck it's not. But if you want to sit here and say it's like Iverson all over again, because Iverson didn't have the pieces that the Cavs have, okay? But if you want to say it's like the Iverson situation when the Sixers played L.A., then guess what? Expect the same result. How about that? Since you want to go there. However, I will say this as well, all right? Golden State Warriors. You know, no matter of fact, I'm not going to start on Golden State Warriors just yet. Cleveland Cavaliers, all right? You fan base. Last night, I saw a number of you give up. And I'm talking about guys who said after the game, well, you know what? Fuck the Cavs anyway. You know, I'm just waiting for football season to come around. So, you think the Browns are going to set the world on fire? Is that it? Is that really what you think? Do you really want to go there? Because I guarantee you, you have just about as many question marks as the Eagles do. Don't give me this old, you think you're going to Super Bowl? Do you think you're going to Super Bowl? I would love to see that. Get the fuck out of here. I'm just waiting for football season. Then what the fuck you watching the games for then, huh? If you want to be entertained, that's fine. But don't sit and bitch and moan like a little fucking kid, alright? And cry and make excuses, because that's what you're doing. Make excuses every fucking time. You lose. Every time. Suck it up. Deal with it. Last night at the end made no sense. You got Deli shooting that dumbass shot, which made, look, alright? When you were down, because you were down 10, LeBron brought you back from that 3, you were down 7. Andre Iguodala, for some reason, people think he's the hero of all this. He was 2 for 12 from the fucking stripe last night. That's right, alright? So you were down by 8 because he made 1, alright? Made 1. You were down 8. When LeBron James comes down and he passes the ball, because it's supposed to be a reset, your point guard, that's right, should not be taking that 3. He shouldn't. He should be waiting for the rest of the team to come up and reset the damn play. Instead, he chucked one up. That's what killed you, all right? And then J.R. Smith chucked one up. That's what killed you. That's what was going on. Everyone all of a sudden started panicking and chucking up shots. Made no sense, all right? Golden State won. Cleveland fans got fucking salty for no reason. But you know what? Your salty tears, I laughed the entire fucking time. Throughout this entire series, I have been called on Twitter, Golden State Homer. I've been called anti-Cavs. Have I not, throughout my tweets, got on both teams? Golden State Warriors, let's talk about you right now. Okay? Your coach has no fucking idea what he is doing. It should not take up to now to realize the formula when it comes to beating the Cavaliers. If the Cavaliers, because this is what the media has been saying, all right? The Cavaliers are so dominant. This is when the Cavaliers are winning, all right? Back in games 2 and 3. They're so dominant, they got to change up their lineup, all right? What did I say? Steve Kerr, change up your lineup because your bench got more points than your fucking starters. Why? Because they can keep up with the speed of the Cavs. They can't rebound against them, but they can keep up speed-wise. Then we heard, well, the Cavaliers are tired, and Golden State sent their speed unit out there, so now the Cavaliers have to fall back and learn how to play defense. No! They only set that unit to keep up with the Cavs. So if anything, the Cavs burn themselves out. That's all we're hearing. Oh, we're tired. We need those days of rest. We go back to, Golden State. We can take that break while we fly. I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it. All right? But the Cavaliers do have the most, they're the most dominant in this series, okay? Golden State last night, they didn't play that great. All right? They played atrocious. And you know what? Both teams fucking played atrocious. I'm seeing athletes, this is the greatest finals ever. Get the fuck out of here. I want to show you exactly what I'm talking about because I will put it like this, all right? Earlier this season, we saw the Sixers score, 20-something points in the first quarter? People laughed at them as the Mavericks went on to absolutely destroy them throughout the first quarter on, right? I want you to look last night at the first quarter for both teams and the third quarter. Here's the box score when it comes to team comparison points. 22, 17, 22, and 22. That is below average when it comes to these type of so-called powerhouse teams. Don't give me this shit. You can't tell me that the Golden State Warriors got over 60 wins over season, okay? And that's what they're putting up. Same thing with the Cavs. You can't tell me that you have this dominant, you have this depth, this bench. Mind you, LeBron made this happen. He went out and got those people. So for you to sit here and say, oh, well, he doesn't have any help, he helped pick those people. But you don't want to talk about that, do you? No, you don't want to talk about that. Here's the thing. Golden State Warriors, you've been playing like fucking ass this entire series, all right? It wasn't until last night, I'll say game 4, the end of game 4, where Steve Kerr finally figured it out that he wanted to, go with a faster unit. And then you have Andre Iguodala being so-called the hero, and I want to talk about this because Sixers fans are so fucking happy over this. Golden State, you're welcome. We gave you, Andre Iguodala. I saw one guy bitch and moan and then turn around and say, well, you know what? He has always been clutch when it comes to, to the Sixers. When it comes to the plays, and he did that with the Sixers. Let's get something fucking straight, all right? Andre Iguodala, in his, 9 seasons here in Philadelphia, was very inconsistent. He barely averaged over 12 points a game. Don't give me this shit all of a sudden where he's Captain Clutch, all right? That's not how it works. The Sixers, at the time, tried to make him a leader, and it didn't work, did it? Didn't work. Remember the time, fans, where he bagged on the fans the night before Fan Appreciation Night? Don't remember that, Sixers fans? That's what I fucking thought. I am so tired of this bullshit, this ass-kissing, and these fucking excuses. And it's all people have been doing throughout this entire series. When I've been telling you exactly how the fuck this is going to go. And then you're surprised. I don't understand that. Have you not been watching the games? Have you not been paying attention to basketball? Or do you just want to be entertained? Is that it? Do you just want to see, ooh, flashy move. Ooh, flashy three-pointer. Ooh, there's a tomahawk dunk that we've seen 1,000 fucking times. Seriously, when you do these things yourself, it's kind of normal. I don't understand how people can get so, I'm sorry, these Twitter, these Twitter coaches and everything. I don't understand how you can try and make these calls and then you're absolutely wrong and then you fall back to insults when you're fucking wrong. I don't want to hear this shit, man. Seriously, y'all got, look, I'll put like this from now on. Y'all motherfuckers better start going out and playing basketball. And I don't mean sitting in your backyard shooting fucking threes. No, I'm talking about go out there in 90 plus like we was doing on Friday and go run those fives. I'm not trying to hear it. Don't sit here and tell me that you know basketball and then when you get something completely fucking wrong, whatever. Blame everyone else though. Like I said, it is embarrassing to fucking watch. Golden State fans, you're just as bad, alright? Even though a lot of you have been real chill right now, alright? But what you did, was it Game 4? Because games 2 and 3, you got blown the fuck out. Game 4, here you come. After y'all won in Cleveland, here you go, Warriors. Get the fuck out of here. You weren't chanting Warriors in games 2 and 3. When y'all got destroyed at the end, nah, you weren't. See, that's the thing. People get salty way too quickly. Especially when it comes to basketball, I notice. And if this is the type of emotions that you're having just on Twitter over a basketball game you're not even in, you wouldn't survive on a fucking court. 5 minutes they'd have got in your fucking head, as far as I'm concerned. I don't know where the fuck you guys come from with all this bullshit, but it's embarrassing to basketball in general. Not just Cavs fans, not just Warriors fans. Steph Curry showed up somewhat, alright? He showed up, not till pretty much the end, but throughout the series he's been playing like ass. Behind the back passes that go out of bounds, turnovers. How many times did he lose the ball last night and have to run back and get it? Huh? How many times? Dellavedova has been playing some good defense on him, but at the end of the day, Steph Curry still doesn't like the pressure because he's a shooter. And when shooters want to shoot, they don't want anyone in their face. They can't stand it. And people keep saying Dellavedova is getting in his head. He's not getting in his head. He's got the mentality. He's got him shook because that's what shooters do. All right? It's not because he's Steph Curry. It's because he's a shooter. But as you notice, Steph Curry's had to do what? Go into the lane, get into the stripe, and lay up the ball. Like I said before, reel it in. Get your twos, then move on to your threes. Don't tell me I didn't say this. I said it on video last week, did I not? But yet, no one was talking about that. Nah, not at all. Even late in the fourth quarter, when he's chucking up those threes, they're going in. I'm thinking to myself, you got to be fucking kidding me. If you're going to dribble, go around the back again, then come back around, then take a step back and chuck it up. Did it go in? Yeah. But any other player that would have did that, you'd have jumped all over him for it. Wouldn't you? Matter of fact, you jumped on Steph Curry for doing it so many times before in those games in the series. So, yeah. Live by the jumper, die by the jumper, right? That's how I see it. You notice Barnes stopped shooting, the baseline three-pointer? Notice he's going in the paint? Exactly, because it was killing him. Like I said, you have to make these adjustments. However, these adjustments are made way too fucking late. Way too late. You wait a game and a half to make these adjustments? The fuck? If the Cavs, look, and here we go with the what if. If the Cavs were playing competent, because they're playing just as bad, and if they were straight, you know what I'm saying? This wouldn't be a contest. It wouldn't. But like I said, that's what if. That's why I said you deal with reality. Cavs are playing horrible, Golden State's playing fucking horrible. And y'all want to sit here and say it's the best finals fucking ever? Get the fuck out of my face, it's all bullshit. I want to move on, man. As far as I'm concerned, Golden State fans, you have nothing to be happy about. Cavs fans, you have nothing to be happy about. No matter who wins this fucking finals, there's only one fan base that makes out. And that's Knicks fans, because they've been telling you from the start exactly how J.R. Shump was going to be. Anyways, I want to move the fuck on. I want to talk about MMA. For those who don't know, Bellator is going to have Kimbo Slice. That's right. And can Shamrock fight? Now, apparently, there's some history here with Ken Shamrock and Kimbo Slice. Apparently, they were supposed to fight before, and something happened, and they had to cancel it. And Kimbo Slice went on to say that Ken Shamrock is a fucking coward, and he went on this whole thing. Well, apparently, on Friday, they had some type of, it was a hype up for the fight, they interview, and this is what Ken Shamrock had to say about Kimbo Slice.
How he even comes from that. This guy still talks like he comes from the street. He's never evolved. He's never come into the world in which we live in, which is a professional sport. This guy doesn't belong in the ring with me. He does not belong in the ring with me. And when it comes that night, when it comes down to that night, I'm going to put him back on the street.
A lot of people talk about the spectacle of this fight, the atmosphere. They call it a freak show kind of fight. Why should fans care about this fight? Why should they watch?
Why not? It's a fight. I mean, come on, it's a fight. I mean, if you're going to spend $100 to watch Manny Pacquiao and Mayweather, you better watch this one, because this one's going to be action-packed. I guarantee you there's going to be somebody that's going to be carried out of that ring.
We have a great crowd here tonight. They have some questions for you. What do you guys have for me?
Ken, I gotta ask, would you fight Kimbo in your backyard and put it on YouTube?
First off, I want to say this right now. The guy who asked that question would never say that to Kimbo Slice's face, so he needs to shut the fuck up. He's a pussy. Alright? That's number one. Number two, Ken Shamrock, it doesn't matter if Kimbo Slice talks street or not. Alright? While I agree that you need to evolve when it comes to fighting because it's a professional sport, you can't sit here and say where he's from is a problem, okay? You can't say that. That's absolutely wrong, and it comes off in the wrong tone, just to let you know that. However, Kimbo Slice, afterwards, talked about how Ken Shamrock is a coward, and how Ken Shamrock didn't have the heart to fight him before, and that it doesn't matter if Ken Shamrock is, because for what we hear, Ken Shamrock, he's going to try and take him down. He's going to try and ground and pound him. He's going to try and submit him. And Kimbo Slice said, I don't have time to be rolling on the ground with you. I want to just knock your head off. That's what he said. Kimbo Slice, you have not learned yet that this is MMA. That people like Ken Shamrock, they're not cowards. At one point, Ken Shamrock was doing tours to Tokyo. He was doing tours all around the world. He was known as the most dangerous man alive at one point. To call him a coward? Nah, you're wrong. You're absolutely wrong. I don't care how old Ken Shamrock is. We've seen in his previous fights, he'll take a punch and he'll go down and he'll keep taking punches until the fight's over. We've seen that. If Ken Shamrock decides to stand with Kimbo Slice, he will get knocked the fuck out. If Ken Shamrock decides, I'm going right for the shoot, I'm going right after the legs, it's over. It's going to be a quick fight. That's how I see it. Okay? Ken Shamrock also has to understand that you cannot say things like this. I understand you were trying to hype up a fight. Same thing with Kimbo. I understand you're trying to hype up. Because like I said, when Kimbo came out and started talking on this, that dude who was running his mouth, shut right the fuck up. He didn't say anything. Because that's what it comes down to. Kimbo Slice also is a little hypocritical because of the fact that he was wearing an MMA shirt when he was talking all this, yet he was saying that he doesn't want to get on the ground and wrestle with people. So, you want to box. Then stay in boxing. Because for those who don't know, that's what he was doing at one point until they snatched him back up for MMA. Then go back into boxing. Freak show or not, they do have a point. It's a fight. Bottom line, it's a fight. You're going to see action. They're not going to stand in one spot and, dance around. No, they're going to fight. Ken Shamrock is coming to try and take him down. Kimbo Slice is going to try and knock his head off. All right? That's what it comes down to. Two old guys fighting. That's what it is. But it's still maybe somewhat of a entertaining microwave fight. I personally will be tuning in to see how this goes. All right, I don't care about ratings and all that other stuff when it comes to Bellator or trying to get gimmicks to get you to fight, because their card is the way it's built. It's going to be pretty interesting to see how this goes. So I'll be watching the entire card. However, with this, I think it's going to end quick in Shamrock's favor. I really think it is. I don't care how old he is, because all Kimbo Slice had against him during that when they were trading back and forth, it was Ken Shamrock. All you do is take shakes and smoothies. You can stay on your little cereal diet. That's was his insults. When Ken Shamrock is like, no, I'm going to try and break your leg. The two don't measure up. You know what I mean? Kimbo Slice clearly doesn't have anything to say towards Ken Shamrock other than, and then he said at the end, he's like, look, I just want to fight. That's all he really had to say. I just want to fight. That's fine. You know what I mean? I just think that they're selling it short due to the fact that they're trying to build, like, this is a rivalry, and this has been building up for so long, and it's not a rivalry. It's not. A rivalry is when you're fighting, that same guy 1 or 2 times, 3 times, and, you got to settle it because maybe you lost and you want to get it back and things like that. No, this isn't a rivalry. Just because you talk a couple words, doesn't mean anything. It's not a rivalry. They don't have to like each other, but they do have to, and for those who don't understand how this works, they have to work with each other. And that interview, because I didn't show the whole interview, because it was a half-hour interview. That interview, they're working with each other. Bottom line. Because if they really wanted to fight, they'd have fought right there. Or if they saw each other in the street, they'd have fought right there. But they didn't, did they? No. Because you get in trouble for something like that. Alright? Besides, they're contracted. They have to be cordial to each other until it's fight time. Of course, you can probably do that away and then push each other or whatever, because guess what? It sells tickets. Interviews, they just sell tickets. That's what it is. They have to work with each other, and they know what they're doing. Alright? Ken Shamrock has done this for years. Kimbo Slice he doesn't have the experience. This is almost going to remind you, I'll say this now, of Randy Couture versus James Toney. James Toney knew if he was going to go in there and Randy Couture was going to stand with him, he'd have knocked his head off. Randy Couture said it himself. He said, if I'd have stood with James Toney, he'd have knocked me out. So I went for the legs. And as we saw, that fight ended very quickly in Randy Couture's favor. We saw that. It's the same thing. So let's not act like this is going to be some big momentum shift where Kimbo Slice pulls one out of his ass and wins. Alright? Like I said, unless Shamrock all of a sudden gets loopy and thinks he's going to stand with this guy, no. Seriously, he should be looking for the shoot right from the gate. And if Kimbo Slice doesn't pick up on that, well then he deserves to fucking lose. You know what? I'm done. I'm so done with fucking basketball and these fans. Like I said, get the fuck off Twitter and go play some basketball. Then come back to me. I'm not trying to hear this whole backyard bullshit, alright? I understand that everyone's going to have their opinions. That's fine. I don't have a problem with that, alright? But when you're supposed to be a diehard fan and then you say fuck your team because you were just waiting for another sport, that's not a diehard fan. That's a fucking clown right there. And for you not to be able to call this shit what it is, how bad this game is, this series has been, because your team's in it. If you talk to most people who have no allegiance to this shit, to their teams, they'll tell you, this shit's bad. We've seen it all throughout Twitter. People are like, yo, this is horrible. There's people, they said last night in Game 5 that he missed Game 4 because it wasn't worth it. Other people said they were tuning into fucking wrestling because this shit was more scripted than wrestling. What does that tell you? People are fed up with it. And if the NBA doesn't change this, it's going to be a problem for years to come. Or are you going to wait and say it's more, it's more complacent people that are watching? People want basketball. Give it to them. At this point, the Summer League is better than the NBA Finals. That's saying something. Anyways, I'm done. I'll put it like this. You want to be mad at me? You can be mad at me all you want. Fuck you. I don't care anyway. I'm out.